Episode 4 begins with Chimok banging on a hotel room door. He's very angry. Suddenly, the door opens, and loud music is heard coming from inside. In the bathroom of that same room, it seems like someone's body is being cut up. Then, we see a man carrying a red suitcase, and he goes to the middle of a river and throws the suitcase into the water from a boat. In the next scene, we see the team leader giving orders to search for Chimok no matter what. The team reaches the place where Chimok's car was parked and eventually finds it. Then, we see Aina, who is thinking about the case. She realizes that Chimok is violent and impulsive by nature, but he doesn't seem like the killer because the killer appears to be calm and patient, someone who waits for the right moment to commit the crime. Then, we see Kim checking the CCTV footage from the area and notices a man getting out of a car and never returning to it. Kim also finds out that there are mountains on the other side of that location and a big boundary wall to cross. He goes there and tries to climb the wall, injuring his hands slightly in the process. Meanwhile, the forensic team arrives and starts examining the car. Kim realizes that Chimok has escaped and planned everything very carefully. They find a rope in the car, which could be the same one used to kill Mayang. Kim then receives a call and learns that Chimok's phone location had shown him near his home earlier, and that he stayed at lake for 3 hours. After that, he parked his car at the current location. Kim is confused about what Chimok could have done in those 3 hours. They go to check out the lake. The team leader receives another call that Chimok's credit card was last used at a hotel, the same hotel Kim sees there. They go there to investigate and find out that Chimok had indeed stayed there. Kim checks the room, and while inspecting the bathroom, he gets a very foul smell. On closer inspection, he notices bloodstains. He calls the forensic team. Kim is informed that they don't find much because the hotel has no CCTV cameras due to customer privacy policies. It's also revealed that several complaints have been made the previous night about loud music coming from that room. A man was also seen leaving around 2 a.m. carrying a red suitcase. Kim then visits the nearby lake, finds some traces that raise his suspicions, and the entire team starts searching underwater. Meanwhile, Aina visits the hotel and thinks that if Chimok had been there, something should have been broken since he's violent. She imagines herself as the victim and thinks he would have strangled her in anger. But then she realizes that nothing in the room is damaged, and everything is arranged neatly. This doesn't match Chimok's behavior. She begins to suspect that someone else is behind this, someone who is calm and plans things carefully. Suddenly, the team finds a red suitcase in the lake. When they open it, they find a mutilated body inside, with some body parts missing. Aina also arrives there and, upon seeing the suitcase, says it matches the one she has and she and the killer has same taste. She then shares her theory Chimok used to get into fights in school and couldn't keep jobs because of his nature, which is why she believes he is not the killer. The killer, according to her, is someone calm and collected. Kim, however, doesn't believe her. But Aina insists, saying that when Mayang was murdered, the fear on her face suggested it was a stranger. She says if it had been Chimok whom Mayang knew, her reaction would have been different. Therefore, Aina concludes that Chimok didn't kill Mayang. Kim gets irritated and asks, then what are we seeing? Whose body is this? Aina then suggests that the body might actually be Chimok's, and that someone killed him. Kim doesn't believe this either. Aina reminds him that in the CCTV footage, the man was wearing gloves, and why would someone wear gloves in their own car? That must have been someone else. She tells Kim to wait for the DNA reports and then they will talk. Kim is left deep in thought. Then the team leader informs his team that the body they found is indeed Chimok's. Everyone is shocked and upset upon hearing this because now they have no leads left. Kim is also frustrated and keeps reviewing the photo, where the man from earlier is seen. Next, we see Aina playing a game at home. Her housekeeper brings her food, and Aina asks her what kind of person her uncle was because she feels like she never truly knew him. She asks if the housekeeper ever felt that her uncle suddenly changed. The housekeeper shares that after Aina's parents died in an accident and she became an orphan, her uncle changed completely. He became a different person and eventually even left the police force. Then the housekeeper leaves. Later, Aina goes to meet her therapist and tells her that she's started having those dreams again. She wonders why she's still seeing those dreams even after finding out that she didn't kill her uncle. The therapist suggests it might be because there are still unanswered questions like who actually killed her uncle that day, and why. Aina says those are obvious questions and asks when she'll finally be able to sleep peacefully. The therapist replies, when you start feeling safe. Then Aina leaves and visits another therapist, Dr. Huang, for something where she sees Detective Nam. Without disturbing the session she leaves. The next day, we see Kim interrogating Chimek's wife, Yang Hee, who looks very sad and devastated by her husband's death. Kim shows her the photo of the suspect, but she doesn't recognize the man. Later, Kim and his team discuss that the man who looked like Chimak must have known him. The way Chimek's body was mutilated makes them believe the killer had a personal motive. Kim instructs Detective San to review all the CCTV footage again. At that moment, Aina arrives and talks to Kim. She tells him she hasn't received the next puzzle yet and asks if Yang Hee knew Mayao. Kim, however, doesn't respond and seems irritated. Aina teasingly asks if he sees her as a rival, but Kim walks away without replying. Later, Aina watches the footage of Yang Hee denying knowing Mayao and finds it strange that she answered so quickly, despite Mayao being such a common name. This makes her suspicious. She goes to visit Yang Hee, who allows her into her house. Inside, Aina directly asks her since when she has known Mayao, which surprises Yang Hee and even slightly impresses her. Yang Hee then admits that she did know Mayao, she was Chimak's past lover. She explains that when Chimak said he gave the apartment to Mayao, that's when she knew who she was. They continue talking, and Yang Hee asks Aina how she knew she was lying. Aina replies that she's a profiler. Yang Hee then says that she too wanted to become a profiler. Yang Hee makes coffee for Aina, and they continue their conversation. Yang Hee starts enjoying Aina's company. Aina comments that their nail designs are the same, and notices how similar their tastes are. Then she starts walking around the house and realizes that Yang Hee likes living alone, even her and her husband's rooms are separate. Yang Hee admits this and says her husband never understood it, he always wanted to do everything together. Yang Hee then asks Aina when she got her first room. Aina replies since she was born, which makes Yang Hee happy and say how lucky she is. Aina also realizes that Yang Hee has lost family members in the past, which is why she isn't overly emotional about her husband's death. Yang Hee shares that when she was 13, there was a fire at her house, and her grandmother and sister died. She then asks Aina about her own losses. Aina shares that she lost her parents and her uncle. Yang Hee notices the many similarities between them. As Aina prepares to leave, Yang Hee tells her that she really enjoyed her company and hopes to meet again. Then we see Kim talking to a restaurant employee, who tells him that the last time Chimak came to the restaurant, he brought along 3 golf buddies. When they left, something happened that made Chimak suddenly extremely angry. Since he was known to get angry easily, no one thought much of it or suspected anything unusual. After that, he called his driver and left for home. Next, we see Aina coming to her office and her team and starts to tell them about the case. She tells them to treat her as the killer and start questioning her. Her team begins asking her questions, and Aina starts answering them just like Yang Hee would have done. Then, one officer asks her why she would want to kill him. To this, Aina replies she wants to live alone. Then they ask her about the man seen in the CCTV footage. Aina says that the police will keep chasing after him, but no one will actually reach the real killer, that's her. At this, the officer realizes that the killer is a woman. Then Aina starts narrating what she thinks happened on that day. First, Chimix knocked on hotel gate. As door was opened, he went inside, the killer used a taser on him, and he lost consciousness. After that, he was suffocated using a plastic bag. Then, he was cut into pieces in the bathroom. She says the killer must have enjoyed doing all this because now there would be no one around, and she could live alone in peace. Aina as killer says that how will anyone catch her when they don't even have evidence? Then Kim finds out from a man who was Chimik's driver that day. He tells Kim that he went to Chimik's house and also recorded a video just in case Chimak got caught for drunk driving, he'd have proof to show that he dropped him to his house. Then we see Aina arriving at Kim's house. But he's not picking up her calls. So she figures out his door lock password. It was the date of his uncle's death anniversary. She enters the house. Aina starts looking around and thinks there's nothing in common between them. But just then, Kim comes home and is shocked to see her. Aina casually says hi to him. Then Aina is eating the pizza she brought with her. Kim asks her if she knows it's illegal to enter someone's house like this. Aina tells him door password was her uncle's death anniversary. That's one thing they have in common, as both were affected by it, as it was Kim's first and only unsolved case. Then Aina checks out more case-related things. She tells Kim she had visited Yang Hee's house. She says Yang Hee seemed weird. When they were talking about death, Yang Hee had no emotional reaction. But when it came to her room being unavailable in her life, her facial expression changed, like she was angry. This makes Kim curious and asks what's so special about her own room. Aina says Yang Hee's husband died, but she never asked a single question related to the investigation. As if she already knew everything about what the police would or wouldn't do. Kim then shares that Aina had a similar odd reaction to her uncle's death. Aina replies that's why she thinks they both have same taste. She adds, the red suitcase must also be Yang Hee's. When Kim asks more, she tells him Yang Hee is never going to confess on her own. Kim then tells her that they have called her in again for interrogation. Let's see what happens next. The next day, Yang Hee is called in for interrogation, and Aina is also present to observe her. Kim begins the interrogation by showing Yang Hee the video footage of Chimak entering house and questions her, reminding her that she previously said Kim did not come home. Yang Hee appears a bit nervous and explains that she went to sleep early, so she didn't know whether he came or not. She then asks if they are suspecting her, to which Kim asks why she would think that. Does she have any reason to believe they would suspect her? Kim then asks about her past affairs, and Yang Hee easily admits to having had 3 or 4. When asked which of them she loved the most, she says it was an athlete she broke up with a month ago. She also casually mentions that maybe he is the killer because, about a month ago, after their breakup, he asked her if he could take the place of her husband. She suggests that the team meet this man for more information. Then Kim go to meet the guy, who tells them they broke up a month ago and that he wasn't that interested in her anyway. While drinking water, Kim notices an injury on the man's hand identical to one he had seen before and asks about it. The guy claims it's from sports, as he is an athlete and gets minor injuries frequently. But subtly, he starts blaming Yang Hee, saying maybe she killed her husband. Then he leaves. Kim looks at his own wound and realizes it's identical, leading him to suspect that Yang Hee and this man are working together. Later, the team discusses the case and finds out that Yang Hee and the guy were schoolmates. They lost touch for a while but reconnected after she rejoined the tennis club. Interestingly, both of them stopped talking exactly 1 month ago, as confirmed by call records. The team also learns that from Chimak's death, Yang Hee would benefit financially. Kim then presents his theory Yang Hee and the man possibly provoked Kim, who was already a short-tempered man, by revealing the affair over the phone. That might have triggered him to go to the hotel, where he was ultimately murdered. Aina adds that they just need one of them to confess now since both are blaming each other, and they have no strong evidence. She suggests they first get a confession from the man, as Yang Hee is good at lying and he might break down more easily. Kim interrogates the guy, asking how well he knows Yang Hee and her family. The man says Yang Hee's parents died long ago, and then her sister and grandmother died in a fire. Kim suggests she could be lying and shows him a photo of a culprit who's been missing since then. The man says no one suspected Yang Hee at the time because she was just 13 years old, and suspicion fell on a 15-year-old boy from the neighborhood, similar to how they're now suspecting him. Kim then shows him a picture of that boy and says, "This could be you too," which frightens the man. He starts panicking at the thought of being blamed and possibly jailed for murder. Meanwhile, in another room, Yang Hee and Aina are seen talking and laughing about Aina's uncle's case and how Kim had suspected her. Aina mentions that the suitcase found in the case looks identical to one she owns and asks Yang Hee if it could be hers, but Yang Hee says nothing. Back with Kim, the man is shown photo to suitcase but denies recognizing it. As he starts to leave, Kim stops him and says it would be safer for him to stay there than outside. Kim then accuses him of being present when Yang Hee was cutting the body. This triggers a memory in the man he recalls actually being there when the body was being dismembered but couldn't handle it and vomited. Kim continues pressing, saying that everyone around Yang He ends up dead, her family, her husband. The man finally breaks down and confesses, leading the police to the spot where they find Kim's severed head. The case makes headlines, and the police's role in solving it is praised. Aina brought caps as gifts for the team, and they all appreciate the gesture. They say they'll get her a gift too since the case is now solved. But Aina says it's not fully solved yet. Myung's killer is still unknown. She says this and leaves with her luggage. As Aina is loading her suitcase into the car, Kim approaches her and asks who she thinks the real killer is, if not Yang He or the guy. Aina replies that she suspects everyone except Kim. He's the only one she trusts. When Kim asks if she's still hiding something from him, Aina says nothing and drives away. Later, at bar, Aina meets her therapist again and starts talking about how Yang He and Aina are similar, asking if Aina also deceives those around her. The therapist responds that Aina is not like that, she's a transparent person. Aina then starts discussing the case, but the therapist says it's too complicated and she doesn't have the answers. Then Aina returns home and finds another mysterious package at her doorstep. Inside, she discovers the third puzzle piece, marked in the exact same way Chimik's body was mutilated. The episode ends with this chilling revelation. Please subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and thanks for watching.